just to do what the puppeteers above them want in this pyramid of puppetry. And I can't stand these people, and they're all going to get thrown down. It's going to get really hot in the kitchen for all these evil people. Black hats in the CIA, black hats in the FBI, black hats in other law enforcement agencies. The Antifa's going down. The fascists are going down. ISIS is going down. All these people have been jilted. All these establishmentarians in the Republican Party, these neocons, all these establishmentarians in the Democrat Party, all these neoliberals, they're all going down. It's going to get super hot in the kitchen as Trump, with the help of God, is affecting change, not only in America but around the world. Remember, we're the most influential nation on earth. So if we can affect positive change in America, then you're going to affect, by default, a positive change around the world, like a chain reaction. That's what's going to happen here. But it's only at the hand of God. God saying, this is the right time in history. I'm not going to allow your enemies to prevail any longer. The worm is going to turn, okay, and we're down to the wire. This is what in the Bible describes as the end of the age of the new age. But it's a very tumultuous time as described in Scripture. And we all have to be on our toes in this thing. And we all have to understand it's going to get hot in the kitchen, not just for the evildoer establishmentarians, these Satanists, witting or not, but it's going to get hot in the kitchen for everybody. And if there is a civil war, there's going to be a lot of dead communists. There's going to be a lot of dead anti-communists. And it's something we don't want. If God says, look, you don't have to go through this thing. Turn to me. Let cooler heads prevail. The ball's in your court. Keep it there. Keep that power. Don't let them have it back. Don't seek revenge. Don't seek vengeance on your enemies. Just say, look, you know what? I forgive you. You must have really believed it. To have that kind of hatred to do what the Las Vegas genocide, mass murder, massacre. Somebody really believed it, to have that kind of hatred for mostly Trump supporters. I mean, I'd like to find out. In fact, that'd be a great survey for somebody to talk to these family members, see who they were. Were they Trump supporters, these people that were killed, these 59 people? Were they conservatives, liberals? Who were these people? Republicans, Democrats? Who was killed? I'd like to know what the percentages are. So we know, basically, it's a rhetorical question. We know basically who died. Okay, we know who they were. So we know this was retaliation. We know this was hatred. Valid or not cause, I mean, that's up for discussion, okay? That's what I mean about respecting each other's opinion. And so perception being reality, like it said, okay, so commonly, that if you can't reach somebody in a palatable manner, something that they can swallow, okay? Give them a pill that they're able to swallow. So it has to do with magnetism and attraction and wooing people in, and the whole credo of catching more flies with honey than vinegar type of thing. That's what I'm talking about here. This is important because, when I hear people say that they hate their enemy, they hate these certain type of people, I think that's ungodly. But yet that, to me, in a way, it's a confession. At least they got it off their chest. They're admitting it. And you can't overcome a sin until you admit it, until you confess it, because there's nothing for God to forgive if you don't admit it, that it's wrong, that it's sin, and you don't want it. That ideally you would learn how to love your enemies. You'd understand, as a Christian, that's the cross you have to bear. What credit is that to love those who love you? They're going to love you no matter what. They're going to love you unconditionally. But to love those who hate you without a cause, now that's worthy of praise. You see, that's the power that God gives us. It's nothing we can feign. It's nothing we can fake. It has to be the real deal, or else it's not the real deal. And it's all about the state of our heart. Is our heart pure and clean, or isn't it? So that's what I'm talking about here. And it might be time to move on to something else. Get into the, I think I'm going to get into the current events from this past week. So I guess the theme is basically striving, seeking to become reconciled to our fellow human being. So as Americans, yes, we need to come together and set a shining light example, be a beacon of hope on the hill for all the other nations. And prove that it can be done, that we can come together and love one another and avert the will of Satan and all his followers and minions that would like to start a civil war. So we're defying the darkness. We're defying the evil one by coming together and saying, look, at least as a devout, dedicated capitalist, you should be able to admit that really what we've had with this crony capitalism is capitalism. And they've done this for many reasons. This wealth disparity has been created. Poverty has been created. The problems just get worse, social problems. So who can blame people that have turned socialist or turned communist? Can't you understand that as a devout capitalist? Okay, I mean, be honest. That's all I'm saying is be honest. And understand that, you know, these people believe what they believe. They believe they're the good guys. They believe that they're the working class side. You know, they're the blue collar side, you know, of the people, by the people and for the people. So they believe they're the good Americans, true. I mean, they want the America to take that direction of socialism, which in their minds, as far as I can tell, because I know a lot of good socialists, it translates to egalitarianism, believing in equality. But you see, their method is all wrong. This idea of taking from others and to give to others, stealing from Peter to pay Paul, the Robin Hood theory, is no different from capitalism gone awry, which is crony capitalism, which I call crapitalism. Okay, that's creating all these problems. That's creating all this communism, all the socialists. Be honest. Let's at least as capitalists be honest and be able to admit that and say, yes, you're right. Okay, so what do we want? Equality, financial equality, or just progress in this direction is not by making everybody poor, but by making everybody prosperous. That's how it has to work. Gradual prosperity. Okay, that's what it brings, this rising tide of prosperity across the board. That's what we're seeking here. And it doesn't have to be done by creating animosity, by taking from others. That's not going to work. And it doesn't work in our society with all the attorneys and the loopholes out there. Alex Jones had Rich Dad on the show recently, Robert Kiyosaki. Okay, multi-millionaire many times over, right? Maybe he's a billionaire by now, I don't know. But he talked about how he uses the debt, the national debt. I mean, Alex didn't ask any pertinent questions. He says, you know, he didn't ask him, how does that help anybody? Isn't that being more part of the problem than the solution? I mean, you're helping to put the nation into more debt and profiting from that? How is that good? You know, Alex didn't ask him, what would happen if they took away Section 8 funding, $50 billion a year? How would that affect the rents that Robert Kiyosaki, how would it affect him as a real estate investor? And talk about that housing. No pertinent questions. I mean, so what's wrong? Alex, you being honest? I mean, I know you're a really smart guy. I just ask those hard questions. You want the mainstream media to ask the hard, and I wish they would ask the hard questions to this idiot brother of the supposed shooter. Why didn't they ask him, well, was he a Democrat or Republican? I mean, what was his political beliefs? Was he a part of Antifa? Was he an atheist? Those are questions the mainstream media should have been asking the idiot brother of this guy. So, but Alex Jones, you should be asking Rich Dad those kind of questions. Why aren't you? How do you feel about crony